Recap from last book. Did you know that LeBron James is a basketball player? Did you know that the Cubs won the World Series back in 2016? What about the fact that the Olympics are taking place in the year 2024? How about the fact that in soccer, only the goalie can use their hands? I'm sure for the most part, most of you knew these. I knew these facts too. However, this is about half my total knowledge on sports, period. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but the point is, I don't know a lot about sports. A big part of that is because sports never really interested me. On that beloved Sunday in February, when everyone is anxious and excited about who will win the Super Bowl, as their eyes glaze upon the television sets, I often use the Super Bowl or the bedtime music. It's not that I have a negative feeling towards sports. It's just that I never really found them interesting to follow. Now, if you ask me why, that is a question even I don't really know the answer to. In fact, there are a lot of things I do that aren't really deemed as normal, and again, I don't fully know why. Whether it's the fact that I have to be dressed at a certain time most days, or else my day is ruined, or the fact that I need to have a certain gap in time before I wear the same shirt again. The full reasons as to why have never been made clear to me. However, one of the many fun facts about me that sheds some light into my less than normal behavior is the fact that I have autism. Back in 2018, I wrote my first book called Success from the Middle. This book talked about my life living with autism up until the year 2018. I talked about my struggles, beliefs, and accomplishments, as well as the people who have made an impact on my life. When I first released this self-published book to the world on Amazon, it was the #1 bestseller in educational biographies for a brief period of time. A few months after it was released, I ended up doing my first book signing. I presented my book to other schools and universities whilst doing talks about my book. I even ended up doing a book signing at the big annual Autism Speaks Walk that took place in Soldier Field back in 2019. I intended to do more, but then the ever so infamous COVID-19 pandemic happened, halting many of my plans. We'll circle back to the pandemic later in the story. Once things calmed down in 2022, I resumed doing book talks/signings at various locations. However, after years of pushing the same book onto people, I figured it's time I wrote something new. I didn't plan to write this book for a few years. However, with everything that I've been experiencing, as well as learning about myself, I figured now is the time.